Would you rather have $1 or $30? How are you guys doing today? My name is Apple, and today we are filling in the financial gap between schools and the real world. And today we're going to be talking about is high yield savings accounts. So prior to a couple months ago, I actually had no idea what a high yield savings account was. And I didn't realize that how much money I was actually missing out on. So I wanted to share this with you guys so that if you were in the place that I was in a couple months ago and you're actually missing out on hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every single year, you can get yourself on track to be getting that extra cash and not be in the place that I was in. So before we go on, just want to do a little shameless plug to my free online course. Links in the description below. It's just how to invest your first $100 from your smartphone as a student, completely free, a 45-minute video lecture course. And then at the end, there is a way to schedule a free 30-minute Skype call with me to talk about anything personal finance related, just a little one-on-one chat. If you're interested at all in that, check it out, but let's get into the video. So it might not seem like a lot, like I said before in the intro, $1 or $30, like who really cares that much? But this really is the difference between a big bank savings account, so say like US Bank, Chase, Wells Fargo, these big guys, and some of the high yield online savings accounts that I'm going to be talking about in this video. So a 30 times greater return, which I mean, that's a lot. So you factor in compound interest there, and it just astronomically makes so much more sense to be going with one of these high yield online savings accounts than somebody like your Chase, your Wells Fargo, your US Bank, whatever. So that's why I want to share this with you guys because it really will make a big difference over time. So first off, just what is a high yield online savings account? What the heck is it? Well, it's a savings account that will actually pay you a decent interest rate. Believe it or not, they actually do exist. They're not just a urban legend. A savings account that will actually pay you a decent interest rate. It's a real thing, and I'm going to share with you guys right now. So typical big bank savings account, like I said before, it's going to pay you about 0.05% interest. Let's just write that on the board. So you're typically going to get, this is what I was getting as well, 0.05% interest. So that's a 20th of a percent. So that's absolutely nothing. That's garbage. And that's again, your Wells Fargo, your Chase, US Bank, whatever. So real quick, let's just talk about how banks actually make money, because a lot of people don't think about this, but how a bank makes money is they take your money at a and they pay you a ridiculously low interest rate, like 0.05%, and then they loan you money on, say, a credit card, a mortgage, whatever, and they charge you a ridiculously high percent. So then they charge you like 20% on your credit card, and they make the difference. So look at that, your bank's making 19.5% on you if you are taking on credit card debt and using a savings account with them. So that's how banks make money. First of all, I thought we'd just get that out of the way so people understand that in case you weren't familiar. So they borrow low and they lend high. That's how they do it. That's how banks make money. Now, some of them borrow lower than others. The big banks are definitely going to be the lowest borrowers of the bunch. And why is that? Well, there are a couple reasons. They have a lot higher expenses than their online bank counterparts. So with your big banks, you've got big branch locations. You know, those big US Bank stores, those big Chase Bank branches. Those take a lot of money to run, to upkeep, to keep the lights on, to keep the bankers paid, to keep security. All of these things are giant expenses. I mean, you got to pay your employees, you got to pay your bills, you got to pay your maintenance, you got to pay your rent. All of these things are cutting into the bank's bottom line and allowing them to pay you less in interest because they have to keep that margin. So they got to take that money out from somewhere, and they're going to take it out from the interest they would be paying to you. So some non-big banks, some online banks that we're going to be talking about can pay you a lot more than 0.05% because they don't have these branch locations. They are completely online. And they can afford to pay you up to even 2% returns. So that's what we're going to be talking about. How do they work? Well, they're primarily online, like we said before, so they don't have these branch locations. Some have a few branch locations, but mostly none at all. And so that just means they have so much lower overhead costs. They don't have to pay their employees as much. They can just hire out some call center employees. They can even outsource that. And they don't have to do as much work. They don't have to hire as many people, keep as many lights on, pay rent for as many buildings. It's just so much more cost effective to be a completely online business. So that's why they can afford to pay 1% or more on their APY, which is how much interest the bank is going to be paying you. So if you're interested, if you're like, what the heck, I want to do this, I'm getting like no interest right now, let me get this 30 times more interest. How do you do it? Well, I'm not endorsing or sponsored by any of these guys. I just want to share with you guys who I'm currently banking with, and just the ones that I have found online that do pay pretty decent interest rates. So here's 5 of the most popular, not in any particular order. Yeah, so first one is American Express. All right, so Amex is the first one we're going to be talking about, and I actually do have an Amex account. This was one of the guys. I opened 2 high yield savings accounts a couple months ago, and Amex was one of them. So they're going to pay you a whopping 1.55% interest rate, guys. So that is 31 times greater than what I was getting at my old bank, which was US Bank, at that big branch location. Now I'm getting 1.55%, a 31 times increase from what I was getting before. So pretty nice. I'm not going to complain there. And with compound interest over the next couple of years, I am sure that is going to work wonders for my savings account. All right. And additionally, I'm going to mention for all of these guys, there's no, at least for American Express, there's no fees and there's no minimum account balance, which is very, very nice, especially for a college student who might only have a couple $100s in their savings account and they don't want it to get eaten away by fees for not having enough money in that account. Next one, number 2, is Popular Direct. So Popular Direct. And these guys are actually going to pay you 2% interest on your savings account, guys. So that is a whopping, 40 times as much. So you're getting 40 times as much from these guys as you would from a big bank. But unfortunately, because they are paying a higher interest rate, they do have some requirements. So you need at least $5,000 with them to pay no fees. If you've got lower than $5,000, they are going to start charging you fees on that, which doesn't make any sense. Don't do that. But you got to have at least $5K to bank with Popular Direct. So that could be a limitation for some college students who don't quite have a couple $1,000s sitting around in their savings account. Next one, this is the second one that I opened a couple months ago, and this one is Discover. So I'm sure you've heard of Discover before. Made a couple videos about their credit cards, and that's actually why I got that savings account, to start building a relationship with them so I can get approved for their credit cards. And Discover is going to be paying a 1.5% APY, which is 30 times greater than I was getting at US Bank, which is quite nice. And again, there are no minimum account balances and no fees with Discover. Same with American Express. That's why I picked those 2. Pretty advantageous. Don't have to put as much money there, have as much of a commitment, whatever. Number 4 is Capital One. So you've probably heard of Capital One before as well. Capital One. And they are going to be paying a 1% interest rate flat. So, I mean, compared to these other guys, not quite the best, but I mean, still significantly better than what I was getting before. And again, with Capital One, there are no minimum balances, no fees, none of that. And last one, you might have seen some ads for these guys lately. They've been really promoting lately. Ally, I think it's Ally, it might be Ally, but I think it's Ally Bank. And they're going to be paying you a 1.45% APY, which again, pretty nice. When compared to that 0.05% that we were getting with US Bank. So they have no minimum account balance, no fees, none of that. Also, they'll give you a free checking account. So if you need a checking account as well, you can get a free online checking account with them, which seems pretty nice. I don't think they have any fees at all, but I don't bank with them, so I'm not super familiar. Just saw that was an offer that was available, so I want to share with you guys. So moral of the story, if you have your main savings account with one of these big banks that's only paying you like a fraction of a percent in interest, I would definitely consider looking into other options that you have, because I was totally unaware of these online options that I had to be getting upwards of 1% interest. I just thought that was the way it was. I thought savings accounts just didn't get any interest because interest rates were so low. I was like, all right, I'll just live with it. But I didn't know there were other options, and now that I do, I want to share them with you guys so that you can also go out and earn potentially up to 2% on your savings account, which is quite nice in my opinion. So stop paying to keep the lights on at your local branch bank, and check out some of these guys to start seeing a lot more interest piling up in your savings account. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do share it with a friend and subscribe down below if you made it all the way to the end. Click on that bell icon to be notified of any future videos I put out. I will see you guys tomorrow, and until next time, Wait. I did not mean to clap yet. I was supposed to mention our sponsors in this video. Let me check. Oh, wait, it's me. Well, in that case, if you are a college student or otherwise financially strapped individual looking to invest, I put together a completely free course. Link for that will be found in the description below. It's called $100 and a Smartphone, and it's going to walk you through the process of putting your first $100 to work from the comfort of your smartphone. Included in this course is a free 30-minute Skype call with yours truly. So if you want to talk through any personal finance related topics that relate to you personally, some one-on-one stuff, if you're interested at all in that, be sure to sign up for one of those. And yeah, if you're interested in more details, the link will be in the description below, and it is 100% free.